when they were under Donkey Squad. But now today, they've got another test for them. Here we go. It is game number 1 in this best of 7. We've got both teams on the pitch here. Shamisen in the blue, Direwolves in the orange. Good luck to both teams. Let's see what they've got.
Let's see, indeed, is Misty going to bounce it over Tango. Now has Finn to beat. He's going to be able to go under him here as he pressures towards the Shamisen goal line. It will retreat and give it back over to Fiber. It's a good touch, but it will ricochet off Finn going towards Tango and a good clear downfield. Seems like both teams just feeling each other out early. That demo going to cause some ruckus, and Kaka going to take full advantage and score the first goal of this game.
So it's the Bubble team taking the first goal here. The whole team does not have any RLCSX titles. Meanwhile, Direwolves decided to grab every single one they had and flex as much as they can. Unfortunately, as much as they try to flex here, it's not going to be enough to give them the lead early. 30 seconds in, and already Shamisen is on the board. But they're going to have to be careful because here come Direwolves already trying to press the issue. Touch off the backboard. Walcott is up. Is he going to get the waterfall? No such luck. But the follow-up from Misty will keep the offense alive. And this is the threat right now, Camel. As good as Shamisen are and as great as it is to get an early lead, holding on to it against a team like Direwolves is a much harder task.
Yeah, it's just so much overwhelming offense that Shamisen have to deal with. And doing a decent job of dissuading any more approaches so far as looks like Finn going to challenge Walcott in the sky. It will go Walcott's way for the time being. Misty off the back iron. It will go right towards Tango's hood. He'll be able to get a 1v1 here. He's going to flick it towards midfield, but Walcott will be able to retrieve it and fling it down towards the other side. Kaka with a bit of an awkward touch. It's going to go Fiber's way. Back over towards Misty. It's a little bit long. And another clear for Shamisen. They're doing a good job of absorbing a lot of this Direwolves offense and keeping their 1-0 advantage. Just a chance for Finn, and it will go to Fiber and the clear downfield.
They are doing a good job of not allowing any of this offense to turn into a good shot, but I fear for the one time they mess up on defense here. It feels like Shamisen is locked into their own half and are desperate to find an offense, but all they really do is boom the ball into no man's land where someone from Direwolves is waiting right now. 2 minutes into this game, and yes, they've held on to their lead, but at this point, it feels inevitable that Direwolves are going to find a goal. Hopefully, Shamisen can find themselves another goal before that time. Maybe it's off of this offense. Finn up in the air with this one. No such luck on the follow-up. And once again, it's booming touches to nowhere that really don't lead to much, Camel. Direwolves look much more controlled than their opponents right now.
Yeah, we're not really seeing that consistent Direwolves attack that we saw previously before. Now a chance for Kaka, but Fiber to be able to interrupt that shot before it can go anywhere. And Finn will clear this one back towards his half to regain possession. Tango gonna battle with Fiber, flick it over Misty. He's got one more to beat. Fiber, an awkward touch. Tango gonna muscle his way forward. Walcott interrupting that pass. It will go right towards Kaka. He gets his second goal of the game here on fire in the first game in this first game of the series.
They don't need a lot of time in the offense because when they get there, they are so efficient. No one even home. The distraction and bumps in the net were enough to clear the way for a second goal for Shamisen at this point. And this is starting to look a little bit bleak for Direwolves. Despite spending an overwhelming amount of time in their opponent's half, they don't even have a goal to show for it. Matter of fact, they're going to get scored on. No, they're not! Misty will make the save in the follow-up as well. 2 phenomenal defensive stands in a row, and Shamisen will not find a third goal. Direwolves doing a great job all over this pitch, but just cannot find themselves a goal to open up.
Oh, that could have been a chance for Direwolves to get back in control. Or Shamisen, rather. Now a chance for Tango. Gonna ricochet that off the back iron. As this time eats away, you start to wonder if Direwolves have enough time on the clock. It's gonna be a decent touch, but it goes right towards Finn. It will now meander around in this midfield area, not really going anywhere. This is really favorable for Shamisen. As Tango with the 1v1, with the dribble moves, has no more boost to work with. He's going to go 1v1 with Walcott. It's so close to the goal line, but Fiber is able to clear it away. Another pass from Finn, over to Kaka. It's going to go to the far post. Great play from Shamisen. The teamwork on fire here in Game 1.
It's the reason why their offense looks so threatening. When they get into the final third, they do such a good job of using every single player on the pitch and moving around at rapid paces, not allowing Direwolves to ever really find their footing on the back end. And unfortunately, it's been that way 3 times in a row here. Direwolves not finding themselves really any sort of momentum in their favor, despite starting off with with an overwhelming offense. They have yet to find another good offensive stand, and unfortunately, it looks like they're going back into defense yet again here. Kaka and Finn waiting out at midfield here, going to try and keep this one alive. If Walcott can score this, though, this would be huge for Direwolves, and I think they just might. No, Misty will not commit. Probably should have just dove there, to be honest, because now here comes the counterattack. Yes, it doesn't necessarily mean a guaranteed goal, but that lack of pressure out of Direwolves when it comes to that final third is rather concerning, Camel.
Absolutely, and I feel like there, you might as well just go for it. There's 40 seconds left. You're already down 3 goals. What more do you have to lose? But obviously felt like he had more chances as Fiber. Gonna take this one out of the corner. He's gonna sky it towards the other side, but Misty nowhere near the pressure with that pass. Walcott gonna keep it on his side, but really 20 seconds left. This is all but over. You have to believe Direwolves need to regroup and figure out what they did wrong, and it really just comes down to Kaka having his way with the ball. Whenever he was able to touch and facilitate these passes, it really made it easy for Shamisen to find these goals. They will get one, it looks like here. Tango gonna dive for it. Great attempt, but not quite there in time. But will be one consolation prize for Direwolves, but this is gonna go Shamisen's way in game 1.
And this is basically a freebie of a goal. Tango just respawned off of a demo to get back for that one. Really no defender there at all. They threw everything they could because of the end of the game. So goes to show you that Direwolves, they might be able to get a goal to end this one, but they do so only because the defense has kind of been abandoned. So now here comes Shamisen the other way, trying to put their exclamation point on the end of the game. But no such luck, but they don't need it. They will take the win here. Game number 1 in favor of Shamisen. And again, here in the show match in a best of 7, this is not only going to be for that $300 mark, but Direwolves are a signed team. Shamisen is not. So being able to take down a big dog like this is not only going to be huge because they get a little bit of extra rep, but hey, it puts your name in a couple other people's mouths and maybe gets you a little bit more close to getting signed by an org. So impressive performance to start this one off, but I don't want to get ahead of myself here, Camel. This is only game 1 in this best of 7.
Absolutely. Direwolves are no team to, cough at. They are a really solid team, and they're not going to get dissuaded by one loss. It's a best of 7, so a lot of time to adapt here. As we get into game 2, it really just comes down to, I feel like in the midfield area especially, it felt like Direwolves were never really able to get constant offensive opportunities. It really just felt like they would just boom it downfield and really not get anything done with that. So for Direwolves, I think it's just about, answering that call and figuring out what they can do to get more offensive chances and limit Kaka's touches with the ball.
Yeah, that's going to be the biggest things, is making sure to just sort of not give them as many opportunities here. It really did feel like when Shamisen got into that final third, as you said, Kaka had the ball. They basically were dominating at that point. They had complete control, and the defense never really was able to try and slow them down. So, right out the gates here, Direwolves, I would say get a goal in your favor. If you can flip the script a little bit here and get yourself some extra momentum, that might just be enough, but unfortunately, doesn't look like it's going to start out that way. Here comes Shamisen, and they're already pressing the issue, not even 15 seconds into game number 2.
Now already putting their foot on the gas, and Fiber going to miss that touch. Tango with a decent shot on target, but Misty will redirect that towards the opposite corner. Now Walcott, good flick over Kaka, but Finn will have his teammates back, and now we'll air dribble this downfield. Kaka with a decent touch. He has Tango in midfield. It will ricochet off the corner and bounce towards Fiber's car. They'll clear it back for Walcott. Decent shot attempt from Walcott, and Kaka, crucial tip to get that away from the net. Another redirection play there, but a great save by Finn. Better defense there off the back iron it goes. Walcott going for the double tap. He's got a freebie on target. And a minute into this game, Direwolves finally strike first.
This was kind of inevitable. We talked about this earlier. When Direwolves are able to lock their opponents into their half, they're just kind of looking for that one opportunity. And the pretty jump from Tango on a missed shot is exactly what Walcott was looking for there. Finally, Direwolves get themselves on the board with an actual defense there. Again, they did score at the end of game number 1, but only did so because no one was home. This time, despite a crowded defense, they still find the back of the net. They cannot find it a second time, though, and here comes Tango the other way. Shamisen looking to equalize here, and they will not! Misty with another phenomenal save on the line here. And my, oh my, Direwolves look like a completely different team here in game number 2.
A lot more calm and really just playing their style, and that's okay if it is aggressive. They're able to make these plays happen. They're going for demos as well, clearing up more space in this midfield area. Misty gonna take it towards the skies, and Fiber now gonna calm it down, flick it over one. Gets the touch back, gonna go for the redirect. A great attempt! It's gonna ricochet out, though it goes off the far post. What an insane attempt from Fiber. Not quite finding the shot attempt there, but that was a great answer.
Oh my word, I would have loved to have seen that gone in just because it's just a hard angle. You really rarely see that from any team, no matter the level. And here, you got to expect them to be hitting those type of shots. This is definitely the best of the best here in OCE, and I got to hope we get the full 7 games to demonstrate that ability. Right now, we're at least looking at a game number 5 minimum because it looks like Direwolves have this one pretty in control. Oh, but the minute I say that and Kaka goes back to the sky, we talked about this all day, Camel, here. If you give Kaka the space in air, he is going to punish.
Yeah, he's going to make you pay, no doubt about that. But now Misty trying to make Shamisen pay and add on to this 1-0 advantage. Walcott going to look for the double tap. Tango, crucially, going to tip that towards Finn. Another flick shot. Now he's got Misty to beat. Kaka waiting, prowling, going for the shot attempt. Misty with a better save. And it will be still a 1-goal deficit. Direwolves holding on to this narrowly and now looking to get things done. Fiverr has a chance. He'll get demoed crucially and will stop the shot attempt. But Misty, he's going to corral it, move it forward. Another save from Tango. With 2 minutes to go, Direwolves barely holding on to this lead, struggling for dear life as Shamisen keep forcing the issue and trying to get these touch passes from mid. Getting these shots on target are crucial for them to get these goals.
Yeah, they need to just keep on keeping this offensive pressure up, and that's a lot easier said than done. Both teams are starting to interrupt each other, and they're not giving a lot of space in the air anymore, and they're really just not giving space anywhere on the pitch. Finally, a little bit of space here, though, and Fiverr's not going to do anything with it. This was something we were kind of concerned about earlier. Direwolves just kind of booming into no man's land, similar to our Shamisen, and all of a sudden we got a little bit of a break in pace of play, and it looks like neither team is really in control of this possession, and maybe Fiverr can get in control here. Tries to go for the flip reset. No such luck, but with 90 seconds left, it's really up to Shamisen to find another offense here. It's all right if Direwolves hold on to this 1-0. They're looking for a 2-0 for a little bit of extra safety, but all they have to do is hold on 70 seconds, and they will even out this series.
They're looking to do just that, but it will be Kaka trying to tie this one up here with Tango. Shot off the sidewall, and it will be cleared downfield from Fiverr. Gonna go towards Misty, ricocheting off the corner. We'll go back towards Walcott. He's got some boost to work with. He gets another touch with his side wheel. He's gonna give it right back over to Misty. He'll sandwich his way forward. He's got another touch in him. Can he get the goal? Kaka crucially will be there with the save. Another attempt here from Shamisen, not working to its advantage. Kaka trying to push it forward. He's got Fiverr right there with him. He's trying to muscle his way in. We'll get it right over to the side. Will now just sit in this corner, but this is all good for Direwolves. Still 30 seconds to go here. What's the answer from Shamisen? He's going to sit in the midfield area. Now Misty, he's going to pop it up to himself. Flick it over Finn. Tango with a clear. Down towards Finn again. Finn's going to fake it, it looks like, and just give it right back over. The possession back and forth here. Not a lot of time for Shamisen to work with. 13 seconds. Out of the corner it goes for Fiverr. Tango will create it, corral it, try to push it downfield, but Fiverr all over it. He's just going to buy for time. 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds. This is dropping. A demo as well. Looks to seal it. It's going to be another chance for Direwolves, but they will win this one 1-0. That was a great play by Direwolves, just holding on to the possession and making it so difficult for Shamisen to get any answers.
That was just a really well-played game overall from Direwolves. A much better performance than the first game we saw from them, where they had a plethora of offensive opportunities, but never really got shots on target, never really had shots that registered. Here in the second game, completely different story. 10 shots versus their opponent's 6, and at the same time, getting the exact same amount of saves as well. 6 saves apiece to both teams. Direwolves just looked more in control of possession in that game. Overall, it was a much better game. They just looked like they understood how to navigate that field a little bit more comfortably. Game number 1 might have been a warm-up, but game number 2, they were absolutely in this one. And I gotta say, a lot of impressive defensive performances from a team that had offensive pressure in the first game. To see them demonstrate such many really good saves and just stops of the offense, very impressive out of Direwolves here so far.
Absolutely, and they also limited Kaka's touches with the ball. He wasn't as, loud in this game too as he was in game 1. So for Direwolves, keep up this strategy because it's clearly working for Shamisen. Got to get more things done on the offensive end and really read this Direwolves defense a little bit better. If they can do that, they might have a chance here. We do have a tied contest at 1-1. Crucial game 3 coming up to really put a stranglehold on this series and get yourself closer to that $300 prize. As we get into game 3 here, let's see what the response is from Shamisen after that 1-0 defeat the hands of Direwolves. Early demos going on. I wonder if that's what we're going to see more of. But a great bump there. It's going to give Walcott enough space to push this one in. What a team play from Direwolves.
Top right corner, too. Perfect placement on this one from Walcott. Recognizes that Kaka is just barely out of this and sends him right into the slot where they used to be. 1-0, 11 seconds in here, and Direwolves, unfortunately, are just right off to the same sort of start. I say unfortunately because for Shamisen, they were hoping to get a little bit of momentum back in their favor. No such luck, though, and unfortunately, it looks like it's going to be another offense for Direwolves here. Maybe not. I'll eat my words for a second. Let's see if Finn can try and equalize.
Great flick to try to get it towards Kaka, but now he's going to be able to push it down off the sidebar, but Fiverr able to control it. Read it now, pushing it downfield, trying to get the spin cycle, moving it forward, giving it up back over to Tango. We'll try to read Misty's touch. Will successfully. They'll bounce into the midfield area, ricocheting off numerous cars, but Kaka not able to do anything quite yet. Now, we'll take this out of the corner. Misty with a better read. It'll give it back over to Fiverr. A booming shot towards the net, but it will be cleared away by Tango. For the time being, it looks like Shamisen are holding the defensive line quite well, but we know Direwolves, they can strike at an instant when you least expect it.
Yeah, that's the big thing here, is that Direwolves have found that offensive efficiency, and now it's basically two teams looking for that golden scenario. Once they see any sort of weakness in the defense, they're going to try to exploit it to the nth degree and get themselves a goal. Right now, though, it looks like Direwolves are struggling a little bit to find better shots. They're throwing everything they've got at their opponents, but still don't find a real shot to show for it. So maybe they're slowing down a little bit on offense here, Camel. This is big for Shamisen. If they've got a read on them when it comes to the offense, all they need is one good offense on the other end, and unfortunately they will not find it here despite good pressure. No real shot arrives from the team in blue.
Let's see as we near the 3-minute mark, Kaka has a chance here, but Walcott will intercept that pass. Another booming clear towards the opposite corner to Fiverr. Going to use this demo. Can he find the pass into midfield? It's going to be Walcott on the back iron, looking for more bumps on the keeper. We've seen that frequently from this Direwolves team in this game 3. These bumps on the keepers have been lethal for Shamisen. They got to watch out for that as well, on top of everything else they've had to worry about. It's another thing to add on to the bucket list. Let's see if Shamisen can absorb this pressure. Finn going to push it downfield. Will go off the back wall with Demo and now Tango. In the corner with Fiverr. He's going to use this, try to get something done here. But as we near the halfway point in this game, it just seems like Shamisen cannot break this hole, cannot break this wall that Direwolves have put up. And it's really difficult for them to get in right now.
I gotta give a highlight for Misty right now. What a fantastic performance on the back end here, and I think they're gonna get another save to boot as well. It's not just the saves, though, that are impressive for Misty right now. They are really getting in the way of Shamisen in any sort of offense they try to develop. Speaking of which, cuts it off in the corner, and there's the end of the offense altogether. Direwolves and Misty in particular are just not allowing Shamisen any sort of offensive pressure. They might be getting into the final third, but it doesn't matter if you're in the final third if it doesn't shake your opponents, and they still are prepared for that offense. So right now, Direwolves just look in control. The same thing as game number 1. They may, game number 2. They may only be up by a goal, but with 100 seconds remaining, if any team's going to hold on to the 1-0 lead, I think it's going to be Direwolves.
Yeah, especially since we've seen that the proof is in the pudding. They just did it 5 minutes ago in that previous game, so we know they are capable of holding on to these clutch defenses. There's a bump actually going to take a play at a Direwolves book, and Tango going to try to use that to his advantage, but he will be saved away by Fiverr. He's going to look to now use that pass, get it back into midfield. Now going to look for the air dribble. Tango reading it all the way. Bit of a sky battle here as we near the 1-minute mark of this game. Fiverr going to look to air dribble, going for the spin, going for the flip, and Finn able to punch that out back towards the corner. Now going to settle it down a bit. Has no boost to work with, though, and Misty going to be able to use that, take advantage. Get that ball away with 50 seconds here. Let's see what Shamisen can do. Tango, pass over to Kaka. They're going to use the back wall effectively. Back over to Tango, but he misses another pass. There's been a lot of crucial whiffs here for the side of Shamisen. It's really not been good for them. As now Fiverr looking to muscle his way into the corner. Finn going to take it off the back wall, looking for the double tap. It waterfalls right back over to Misty's car. And they'll clear it downfield. 30 seconds remaining for Tango and the rest of the Shamisen offense. They gotta work with this pass. It's gonna fly over walk-on. A chance for Finn. Back over to Kaka. It's gonna be the two-man game. 22 seconds left. A tied game in game 3.
And this is all that Shamisen were looking for. A little bit of defensive vulnerability, and Misty not in the right place at the right time. Desperate to get there. Can't really make the jump. And unfortunately, it leaves them completely exposed here. Shamisen doing a good job of executing when the time came. The question is can they do that in overtime? Because it's looking almost inevitable that that's where we're going. Wait a minute, Kaka trying to make me eat my words here. And oh, a bump on the back end. This is huge. Direwolves in a very awkward position. Can Kaka and the rest of the team punish? Yes, they can. Shamisen putting in the second goal with 6 seconds left in game number 3.
Oh my, we all saw it. They bumped into each other, and that was what you talked about. Very awkward. They weren't in the right rotation. And Shamisen look to steal this game away. There is 6 seconds left. Let's see if the kickoff is good. It will bounce off the side wall, but Misty will be able to get it back, and Finn will just clear this one down and let it touch. Shamisen steal a victory away from Direwolves, who looked to have that game in the bag, or at least it was going to overtime. But then it's 2-1, and Shamisen are up 2-1 just like that.
I want to remind people, if I'm not mistaken, I think Direwolves literally had the 1-0 lead until about the 22nd mark or so. This is insane. I cannot believe that we see Shamisen taking the win here at this point. I don't really know what to comment. I'm a little bit shocked and jaw-dropped here because this is supposed to be a Direwolves win, Camel.
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty nuts. Direwolves, when they last played this roster, only gave them 1. Now they're already at 2 here, so already Shamisen doing better than they did previously. And this is a game for Direwolves. This is big. They do not want to be down 3-1 in a best of 7. That is not a fun time to be in. They want to tie this one up and give themselves a chance to go into that game 5. A little bit more breathing room for them. But Shamisen, Kaka, bounce back game for him here. It was really quiet in that game too, and made it happen on the big stage here. Trying to make it happen for his team. He's done a good job of facilitating the offense well, but obviously we have to look at the Direwolves defense and the communication. That was definitely the answer that Shamisen were looking for. They just didn't know it.
Yeah, that's the big thing, is that they just kind of were waiting for some sort of breakdown, and like you said, it feels like the communication got a little bit hectic there. A lot of double commits from Direwolves that were not really typical of the team, to be honest. We don't really see them double commit often, and we very rarely see them look that awkward on defense. It kind of just felt like a snowball effect. After the first defensive error, they never were really able to recover, and hopefully they can do that here in this game, but oh my word, it's looking awkward on the back half for Direwolves so far. They have not given up a goal, but they've got to be careful. This shaky defense is not going to be enough against a team like Shamisen.
See if the comms will become a little bit more crisper here as another demo from Tango will catch Fiverr. Those demos were crucial for both sides. Bumps on the keeper really did allow for space to be created for these shot attempts. And now Misty trying to pummel his way forward onto Kaka. Takes a favorable touch for Direwolves. Tango going to meet in the middle, and Kaka going to clear it downfield. A rifle of a shot bounces towards the corner, and now Walcott has some room to make up, and it goes right towards Finn. Misty for the double tap. We'll use that demo effectively there as Finn out of the play for a short amount of time. Tango going to go from coast to coast, and we'll trade the demos as well. So it seems like now both teams playing with a lot of aggression. Walcott going to go low. What a fake. And just duped him. Duped the defense there. Nothing that Shamisen can do about that. Walcott just better.
Oh my word, that was so well sold there. Walcott probably did actually want the flip reset, but realizing that they're not going to get it, just kind of takes it low. Normally when you get a flip reset like that, there's a little bit of a stall in the air where the ball just kind of lays there for a second. That was what the defender was hoping for on Shamisen, but when it never really arrived, it's an easy shot to take low, and Direwolves will find themselves a little bit of recovery after an abysmal end to game number 3. Like you said, Camel, they need to win this one. There's no two ways about it. They do not want to have to fight back from a 3-1 deficit. That's basically reverse sweeping in a best of 5, and that's a scenario you do not see often happen. So, Direwolves right now, they need to keep this pressure up. They need to keep this offense alive, and to be honest, they need to find themselves another goal. Yes, they can hold on to that 1-goal lead for a pretty extended period of time, but as we saw in the last game, 1 goal does not give you any sort of buffer room.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. And it seems like the demos have been the answer for both of these squads. So really whoever plays a little bit more aggressive, whoever has the higher tempo, will look to have the edge, it seems, as the midfield pressure has been stunning from the side of Dire Wolves. Shamisen trying to answer back, and Misty with a good save. Tango keeping up the pressure. Walcott moving it down towards the corner, but we'll go now into the midfield area. And Finn battling for possession. We'll go right back over to Misty's car, and he's got some work to do. Gonna look to go coast to coast. Has a full tank of boost, trying to fake away and trying to cut his way through this defense. We'll do a decent job at that, but Finn all over that shot, and we'll go back down towards the other side. Both teams not really getting a clear offensive maneuver going as Kaka, good pass into Tango. Fiber gonna read it all the way. Finn in for another touch. We'll do just that, but we'll go right back towards Kaka. Out of the corner he'll go, but really not another chance that they can go for. And it's just like, you know, pop shots here and there. Nothing really concrete Bass for either side so far.
Yeah, this is looking a little bit more hesitant and tentative than the first couple games we had here in the series, and I think it's because both teams are starting to read each other a little bit more. Once you start to understand and find that predictability in both sides, it becomes one of these things where both teams are just kind of playing their own game of chess, waiting to see when someone makes a wrong move, and when they do, they will pounce like no other and go for that checkmate immediately, and that's what Shamisen did in the last game. They were waiting until the end of the game when they started to see a little bit of breakdown in the Dire Wolves defense. The difference is they're not really getting chances this time. Oh wait, but speaking of which, off the backboard, maybe this is the one they've been looking for. Shamisen approaching the offense right now with 90 seconds left. Camel, this is an important offense indeed. They are running out of time to find that equalizer.
Absolutely. Kaka gonna look to do just that. Off the back wall it will go, but Walcott crucially intercepting that pass. And now Fiber. Clear it downfield. Tango is there, though. It's not the greatest touch in the world as Misty flying forward, soaring in to get a shot on target, but he won't do that quite yet as Kaka trying to get any sort of advantage he can, any sort of pressure will do as Tango battling with Walcott out of the side. Now Kaka has a lot of boost to work with. Can he beat Misty on that touch? A good 50-50. He'll go back to Fiber. Misty getting bumped and touched and be able to get a clean shot on target, so we'll go back towards Shamisen's way. Haven't really been able to find much success with this midfield pass. It's been all Dire Wolves defense. Fiber with a flick of the century. It actually went over the whole defense. And Dire Wolves 2-0 with 40 seconds. This is looking so grim for the side of Shamisen.
Oh my word, I feel so bad for Tango there. Just wasn't expecting that much power, so thought that they might just be able to jump into it. But the minute they realized they should have aerialed, they backflip in a panic, and that's what we were talking about. That's the openings that you need if you're going to try and take the win here. And Dire Wolves waited so long. Despite having overwhelming offensive pressure, they knew they just needed the one good opportunity and they would be able to capitalize, and they've done exactly that. Most likely evening out this series. I say most likely because Kaka comes within inches of finding the first goal for Shamisen, but no such luck with the clock ticking down. 10 seconds left in, possibly a third goal for Dire Wolves. I have to imagine that this one is out of hand. Dire Wolves will even out the series, and Camel, we go to a best of 3 from here on out. I don't know who to predict at this point. I want to say that it's going to go to Dire Wolves because they've had 2 pretty impressive games in a row aside from the basic throw they had at the end there, but it feels like you can't count Shamisen out. Even in the closest moments, they are still that close to getting to Dire Wolves and finding themselves a couple goals in their favor.
Yeah, we know what Shamisen are capable of. We know that if Kaka gets going, it can be very, very scary, and Dire Wolves understand that. They've done a great job at limiting his touches, and that's the reason now that they were able to shut out 2-0 Shamisen in this game. And really right now, Fiber is on an absolute tear. MVP of this game, really able to do a lot in these games, and it's been the demos as well for the set of Dire Wolves, playing aggressive and really keeping Shamisen on their toes, not allowing them to breathe, has allowed them to just get a booming clear downfield. Shamisen can't really control it, can't really get anything done with it. They haven't had multiple offensive possessions in a row, and Dire Wolves are taking full advantage, and they're able to really just play with their food.
Yeah, that's pretty much the best way to put it, is playing with their food is a great descriptor of what we're seeing here. Dire Wolves are letting Shamisen play into their hands and then just doing exactly what they want once they get that scenario. This is sort of the expertise of a team like this who does play in RLCS and who has this experience at a higher level. Once they find that little bit of rhythm, they really do run with it like no other. So for Shamisen right now, yes, they have found themselves a couple of good opportunities here and there, but they need to find an overall winning strategy. Once they do that, I think they're going to be great. I think they should be able to take down a couple more wins from Direwolves, but if they can't find that in the next 2 games, unfortunately, they've run out of time. So right now for Shamisen, it's about finding that efficiency on offense and continuing to do so. The misses that we're seeing on the back end here are only further deflating their confidence, and I do worry that they may have been so deflated at this point that they're never going to really find their stride again.
Absolutely, that's definitely a thing that can happen in Rocket, especially in these best of 7s, where it's a lot of adaptation and a lot of just playing the game so much you almost get burned out in the series. So let's see if Shamisen can stay focused and understand what they have to do against Direwolves, what the plan is, what the game plan is going in. It seems like we're just waiting on the players to join up, as I think they are switching cars or something, I believe. But once we get into this game, best of 3, like you said, going into this 2-2, I mean, we've seen Direwolves play confidently, play well, but we've also seen them throw massively as well. So it's definitely just kind of a double-edged sword here for Direwolves. For Shamisen, really the key is Kaka. If he can get going, if he can facilitate these offensive plays and use the backboard a little bit better. I thought they were kind of just lofting it into midfield, didn't really do a lot, and kind of just gave Direwolves free chances with the ball.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest things, is that it really was a lot of mistimed plays when it came to what they were trying to execute here. You gotta remember, at the very first game, Shamisen, we were super complimentary because they had so many good passing plays and team plays here. They got a little bit of confidence after the winning game #1, and they started resorting to a lot more solo plays, and oh my word, they're also resorting to some poor rotations here. Not a good start for Shamisen. It's only 6 seconds in, and they give up the first goal.
Finn's not tilted. He said no problem in chat, so it's okay. It's okay. They're good. Shamisen, okay. You concede in the first 6 seconds. It's not a big deal. You know, you got the whole rest of the game to go. Let's see if they can try. After that unfortunate first goal, is Finn gonna look for the flip reset. Kaka gonna take this off the back iron, and Misty gonna own goal. What team's he playing for? Does he want to get signed by Shamisen? Who knows? 1-1. They want to give that goal back. That's fair. I love that play from Misty. What a great guy.
It's just sort of the, hey, we got an early one, so here's an early one for you as well. All tied up with 4:44 left on the clock. A little bit poetic in itself, and a little bit of a reset now. Both teams gonna have to try and shake off the, let's call it errors to start the game. I'll be nice and not try and bash on them a little bit too aggressively here, but I don't think we're gonna see that slop play for the rest of this game. Like we said, both teams really incredibly impressive. And that save will go to demonstrate that. Misty with a boomer on target, but Finn gets in the way, and it looks like Shamisen might be right back into this one.
Absolutely. 4-19 here is Fiber. Gonna look to sky this one down, give it back up to Misty. Walcott holding his nerve, did not want to move forward, and that was a crucial decision because it gave the defense time to get back. And now Direwolves looking to keep up this pressure. Fiber gonna look to soar forward. Off the back wall he'll go. Misty flying in, trying to get something done. Not be enough as Walcott keeping up the pressure. Be a booming pass towards Misty. We'll go for the double tap. Won't find much luck there as Fiber back to Misty. Off the iron it will go. Fiber waiting for Tango's touch. It will fly towards the corner, out towards Direwolves' half. We'll give Shamisen some breathing room, and finally their first chance to really get a string of offensive possessions together. As right now it's been all Direwolves so far. Shamisen needs to maybe go back to the demos, need to go back to some sort of passing plays, because right now Direwolves have their number.
I absolutely want to hint upon those passing plays a little bit more. I think that that's probably going to be the key to victory right now. Like you said, it's booming touches that don't really go anywhere. That's the big issue. Yes, they are able to clear it out of their half, but what does it mean if they can clear it out of their half and then do nothing with it? Their defense right now is making save after save, these sort of desperation touches to try and stop the Direwolves offense. Rather than going for these desperation touches, they need to go for something that turns into a play. Booming clears like that out of Kaka aren't good if they don't go to anybody. All it does is leave the defense exposed, and they scramble to try and find boost in the little seconds they have of breathing room. So right now for Direwolves, keep doing what you're doing. This is the strategy they were hoping for. Unrelenting pressure, waiting for that opportunity. But for Shamisen, you guys have got to break out of your half and do so with some purpose.
Fiber's been going for that double tap, that crazy angle. He did that twice already. Maybe he'll get that once this series, but Misty trying to get another goal on the board and look to increase this lead here as Tango in the 1v1 with Fiber. A great touch from Fiber in the right spot at the right time, and Finn can keep up the pressure. Halfway into this game, a tied contest still as Kaká gonna give it back up to Tango. Walcott, crucial positioning there to save that shot. Now they're gonna go coast to coast here. Let's see what Fiber can do with the flips, with the spins, with the dashing, with the diving. Trying to get something going here in the midfield area, but right now Finn all over. Doesn't have a lot of boost to work with, so Misty able to dive and dip his way in to get a touch on target. Now Fiber unrelenting here as they move towards this goal line. Shamisen need to clear this one downfield, really go for a demo on someone to just give them a chance to get an offensive touch in. Off the corner will go Finn. Oh, what a whiff. That was so dreadful. Unfortunate there for Finn. Will be more pressure as Finn gonna look for another shot. Out of the rear 90 it'll go. And Walcott tipping it back, trying to eat my own words, but unfortunately will not find the back of the net. Shamisen trying everything in the kitchen sink. Nothing is working though.
They're trying so incredibly hard, and they're even going for the bumps as well, taking the last defender out, but unfortunately Direwolves are just a tad too quick, immediately ready to recover, and I think that's something we do need to hint upon here. That is another massive difference between the two teams. I'll hint upon that in a second. I was going to say the rotations for Direwolves are better, but it doesn't matter if your rotations are great if you don't touch the ball. Fiber and Walcott both missing, and that is the freest ball I've seen in pro play in quite some time.
Walcott, very unfortunate there. Was not obviously what he wanted to do, but Kaká looking at insult to injury as he already is pushing forward for another opportunity, but Tango not able to get a decent enough touch on it to make it count. Now Finn out of the corner, a bit sporadic here. It's going to give Fiber a chance in a 1v1. Tango going to go up. Great pass into Walcott, but Walcott muffs the shot. Never mind, it's a pass. What a fake play from Walcott. Maybe not what he wanted exactly. It was a great facilitation from Fiber, but Walcott not able to finish. And now Walcott gonna look for the flip, gonna look for the dive in. Finn, what a heroic save. And now Misty with a double tap. He's got boost to work with, far down, off the corner, and will fly back downfield. What a chance for Direwolves. How are they not converting these? So sad.
I don't know what to say. It seems like Direwolves are their biggest enemies in this game, whether it's the own goal or the fact that they are missing shots from point-blank range or just leaving the complete back end open so Tango gets a freebie. Direwolves fell apart during the second half of this game. They did a great job of holding on and keeping it close for the first 2.5 minutes, maybe even 3. But the back half of this game was not their friend here. 3-1, and with 15 seconds left, it's looking like Shamisen are going to move on to game point. Camel, I've got to ask you the question, my friend. If we go to game point here with Shamisen, which it looks like is going to happen, do you think we're going to get a game 7, or do you think we are one game away from the underdog, the unsigned team, upsetting the LG Direwolves?
It's so hard to say. We've seen throws on both sides, but I think Direwolves are going to be able to force this game 7. I think they understand, the mistakes they made weren't really, you can fix them. Walcott, hitting the post and not saving that shot, definitely something he can fix. And just defensive errors that are very easy, minute errors from Direwolves, giving Shamisen these huge openings. And you really can't do that, especially against Kaká, who is going to make you pay. We've seen him do it before. Looks like Misty's going to leave. Maybe a car change, maybe something different here for the Direwolves as they're on their last leg here. One more defeat at the hands of Shamisen, they will lose this show match. Direwolves need to force this game 7. I think they have a good shot at it. It's really up to Fiber. He's been the answer for this Direwolves team. Maybe it's the goal line bumps we've seen a couple of times before as well. That was really good at, dispersing Shamisen, really making it difficult. Right now, Shamisen, they can take their time with the ball, and they're getting things done on offense so easily, and it feels like they're not really getting contested.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest things right now, is that the defense looks a lot different for Direwolves. And I want to hit upon one thing very specifically. The difference in the way that Misty is playing right now. Misty, the first couple games, was one of the most defensive monsters I had seen in the OCE region in quite some time. Then you get here to game number 5, and it's not looking that way. They have 5 shots on target, more than their entire team combined in the 2-1 between Walcott and Fiber, and that's where I think the difference is starting to become. Direwolves are getting a little bit impatient in offense. offense. They are trying to force anything they can into the back of the net, meaning that Misty is no longer really that facilitator out at midfield, that facilitator on the back end that controls the defense. I think they're really abandoning their defense, and they're not really keeping as much priority there. And Misty, while I appreciate that you want to get a couple goals for yourself, my friend, honestly, I think your biggest highlights have been on defense. So if they can go back to a little bit more of a defensive stance here, I think Direwolves might be able to force a game number 7.
Absolutely. I think crucially, Direwolves, they've been able to score very early on in a lot of these games, just have not been able to hold on to these leads. Misty going to use that waterfall, dropping down for a shot. Will not find the back of the net quite yet, not that early. Tango back to Finn, going for a diving shot off the pass. Good two-man game so far, not really finding much success though. There's the bumps, and it looks like more aggressive play, but it seems like right now, playing a little bit more passively is Direwolves. Not going to force the issue quite yet. Don't want to make a huge error. Tango going to look to score, but Walcott diving in for that save. Misty was there anyway. More pressure being applied by Finn. Tango in 1v1 with Walcott. Walcott narrowly reading that pass, but won't find it quite yet. Walcott with a whiff also, giving up another touch. So it seems like the nerves getting them as a couple of whiffs here and there might mean that, you know, they're getting a little bit nervous, they're getting a little bit on their toes, and they know that this is a definite possibility to lose this game and lose this best of 7. Finn gonna muscle his way in, try to get things done on the offensive end early on. As we near the 3-minute and 30-second mark, both teams getting a couple chances here and there, but right now, it seems like Shamisen have the upper hand so far.
I think a big difference we're seeing here is that Direwolves are not really sure of themselves. We talked about this earlier. When you find a winning strategy, you try and run with that winning strategy as long as you can in order to, well, keep momentum in your favor. It's a winning strategy for a reason. Unfortunately, though, for Direwolves, what was their winning strategy earlier is no longer working out, so they have to go back to the board, and they are scrambling to try and find some sort of cohesive play here. I can't tell if they want to play defensively or if they want to play patiently or if they want to play offensively. Like, all three of those may seem pretty similar, but they really are not. And Kaka is taking full advantage of that, and this has got to be a goal, right? Finn, Kaka, yes, indeed, into the top right. And this is the difference. Shamisen are sticking to their play style and are still executing beautifully.
Yeah, and that was just Kaka all the way there with that insane sky shot from downtown. Made it so difficult for Direwolves to really figure out where that ball was going to end up being, and it was just an easy two-man game. Play from Tango and Finn that does the rest, gives them this 1-0 edge in a crucial game for Direwolves. They need to win this, a must-win scenario in Fiverr. Wants to give them a chance here. It's going to waterfall its way back down towards the opposite corner. Now Finn looking to add onto this lead and build a cushion for Shamisen to really work towards. Really have not been multiple goal games here. Been very close between these two squads. As favorable touch actually going to be whiffed by Fiverr. Misty and Walcott double committing instead there, so it looks like communication's still a bit shaky on both sides, as right now, just like you said, a little bit, you know, kind of not really sure of themselves, not really knowing what they want to do with these balls, with these shot attempts. Finn should be able to get there in time for Walcott's shot. A demo as well, clearing up space in the midfield area. That has been the key for Shamisen a lot of the time here to find these opening goals, getting these demos, opening up the midfield area, making it easy for Kaka to go to work.
That's one of the biggest things, that there really is a strategy right now for Shamisen. Meanwhile, Direwolves just look like they're scrambling all around. It is unfortunate because I really do think that they have the ability to find themselves a goal and force a overtime and maybe even force a game number 7, but they just look too panicked right now. It just doesn't seem like they've got a lot of cohesion in the way that they are playing, and the double commits are still becoming a problem. As well as whiffs like that. That's just not something you can do at this level, because when you do, Kaka will be there for the punish. Luckily enough, Misty returning to game 1 Misty, to where they have tons of defensive prowess, but unfortunately there's defensive prowess on the other end as well. Kaka with a phenomenal save, and now with 75 seconds left in this game, it is crunch time for the team in orange. If Direwolves do not find a goal, that is the end of their game. That is not only the actually end of their game, that's the end of the series. $300 will go to the team in blue, to the underdog from Shamisen, and it just might. If they can get this goal here, that would have been the security necessary, but no such luck. 50 seconds left, and Shamisen will eye up that second goal and that safety net to keep them in the lead.
One goal here separating the two squads. Let's see if they can use that demo. Fiverr with the flip, but Tango just pummels his way in, clears it downfield. Misty, though, is there in time. Yeah, Probably one or two more chances, but that demo gonna chew more time out the clock. What a bump instead by Finn, just doing whatever he can to buy time for Shamisen. And Tango to 1v1, gonna look to go low. Gonna try to get Misty jumping. Now Fiber, gonna try to go coast to coast, but another whiff. Oh, you can't do that, 15 seconds to go. And that's more time you just do not have to spare. Walcott giving it back over to Finn. Tango with the shot, off the back iron it goes. Third man not coming quite yet. Walcott back over for Kaká, reading it perfectly. 3 seconds to go. Misty, he's going to give it over to Tango. It's still up in the air. They got to be careful. Finn will look to lower this down. It's a great touch, and Shamisen will win this show match 4-2. Bouncing back from the previous time these two teams played each other. It was a 4-1 victory then for Direwolves. Completely different story here for Shamisen.
Yeah, this was a very different game for Shamisen all around. This is the most they looked in control the entire series there. Direwolves were throwing everything they could at their opponents and were desperate to find some sort of offensive flow, to find some sort of cohesion amongst the trio. But unfortunately, their example was standing right in front of them. They needed to play more like Shamisen, who were understanding